2022, you were a doozy. In January 2022, I found out that I was pregnant with baby number 3, and shortly after in April, I ended up in the hospital with Guillain-Barré. If you're not familiar with what Guillain-Barré syndrome is, it's basically where the immune system attacks your nerves. So this is an extremely rare autoimmune disease. And in early April, I was starting to have symptoms of weakness in the legs and eventually paralysis. I ended up going to our local hospital and they were just not equipped to handle this kind of case. So I had to get life flighted to Denver, which was about a 4-hour drive away. So it was pretty far away from where I live. And they were able to do all the testing and stuff that they needed to figure out that it was actually Guillain-Barré. I had to do a spinal tap. I had to do all sorts of things. Meanwhile, I'm pregnant during all of this. When this happened, I was about 16 weeks pregnant, and that in itself was just scary. And the other hard part was the fact that I was away from my 2 other kids, as well as my husband, my family, my support system. Everyone was in our town, like our hometown, 4.5 hours away. So once they figured out that I had Guillain-Barré, at that point I was paralyzed, I think like up to probably like my collarbone area, and they were starting treatment immediately. And by the way, everything that they did was safe for baby 100%. I ended up getting about a week's worth of treatment. It's called PLEX, plasmapheresis. It's basically like dialysis, but it takes the blood out of your, how do I explain this? So basically plasma exchange is where they take a dialysis machine and they take the plasma out of your blood and replace it with new plasma. And that's supposed to stop the infection or the inflammation that's happening. On top of that, I did also receive a good amount of steroids, and that helped in like the short term, just kind of the immediate relief to, you know, start feeling better. The rare thing about my case specifically is usually with Guillain-Barré, you're just paralyzed. A lot of times people are on ventilators. Thankfully, I did not have to be on a ventilator. But with my case, I was paralyzed, but I could feel everything. So I don't know if anyone's familiar with nerve pain, but the best way to describe it is when you have a fever and your body, like it just hurts, it aches, and it just, like if you touch your skin, it's just extremely painful. That would be a really good way to describe kind of the pain. It just felt like zingers and like a Charlie horse constantly. It was just extremely uncomfortable. And it did affect my right side more than my left side. But yeah, I'm just so thankful that they were able to stop it from spreading to I'm just really thankful that it stopped spreading before it got worse. After I received all of my treatment, and I was in the hospital for about 3 weeks at that point, and then they sent me to rehab, and I was in rehab for about a week. And another big miracle in all of this is, recovery for this could take years. Sometimes people don't even walk again. And I was lucky enough to be able to move my toes within 24 hours of receiving steroids. And I was up walking, within 2 days. And then, mind you, I was on with a walker, but still, I'm just very grateful that, I was able to physically walk when they didn't think I was going to be able to walk for years. So after rehab, I was able to go home using a walker, and I was using the walker for about 2 weeks, I think, before I was able to just kind of move around and navigate on my own. And I was doing occupational therapy, and I was also doing physical therapy like 2 or 3 times a week, and I was really seeing progress. The pain was still there. It was still really uncomfortable to really do anything, like even drive, shave my legs even. The pain was just there, but I was physically able to do stuff, so I was thankful for that. Fast forward to the end of October 2022, and at that point I was about 37 weeks pregnant. Everything had been going well with the pregnancy after, you know, the initial Guillain-Barré, but I started having a flare-up again, and I was admitted into the hospital. I was losing function in my legs again. My pain was just really high, and it just felt exactly how it did the first time it happened, and they were pretty sure that's what was happening again. Since I was so close to having my baby, they decided the best option was to induce me early, and then that way I was able to not risk, like, you know, paralysis going up to like my belly and something happening to the baby. So we ended up inducing me at 37 weeks and 2 days. And the worst part is I was still like paralyzed from like the hips down. So I was laboring without standing or walking or moving around. So I would say that was probably the hardest part of the entire thing, because it made the labor that much longer because I wasn't able to like move around and get like, you know, the transition. And anyways, it was not the most comfortable or fastest labor that I've had like my other two. But she was born perfectly healthy, and I felt the best I had felt since before I got sick in April. I don't know what, you know, if it was just the pregnancy that was causing all of the pain or what, but I felt amazing after having my third baby, and they ended up not having to do any extra treatments or anything like that. I was able to, you know, do a couple rounds of steroids, and then they sent me home, and I was fine. Until about 6 weeks later, when my oldest came home with a cold, just the common cold, and I got it, and that was just enough for my body to flare up again and end up back in the ER. And this time they tried a different treatment that's a little less invasive. I responded not as well to this one. I probably had the worst experience, partly because I also was in the hospital with my 6-week-old because she was so new. I, you know, was breastfeeding. I needed to have her with me that young in order to, you know, keep up with nursing her and everything. So I'm going through all of this in a hospital bed, not able to walk or move with, you know, a newborn. And that was really hard on me. So after I got done doing that treatment, it took about a week. I didn't see insane results from it, so my pain and everything was still pretty high when I went home after that. So that was back in October, and now how am I feeling? What are my symptoms? What's going on? And when I'm filming this is January 2023. It's been about 4 months since I was in the hospital last, and I can say that I am definitely improving. I have, you know, extreme nerve pain still from like my hips down. It's, you know, my right arm and hand, I have a lot of nerve damage, especially on like this side of my hand, so I'm not able to grab certain things. Opening packages can be difficult. Yeah, like the nerve pain is just there. It's not going anywhere anytime soon, I don't think. The big thing is constantly just trying to stimulate my nerves to help them regrow, which is painful. So I am better, but not my best, if that makes sense. So I am on my journey of healing, which brings me to my current game plan. So back in September, about a month before I gave birth, I decided to enroll full-time in school at the Nutritional Therapy Association to become a nutritional therapy practitioner. So what the heck is that? A nutritional therapy practitioner is trained to evaluate client nutritional needs and imbalances while helping to rebalance using the nutritional foundations and supporting clients to achieve optimal wellness through dietary changes. So essentially, a holistic nutrition professional who harnesses the power of real food and empower people to reconnect with the innate wisdom and unique needs of their bodies, thereby supporting lasting wellness. So those are just like the official definitions of what a nutritional therapy practitioner does. So why am I doing this? I wholeheartedly believe that there is a root cause for majority of health concerns that people have. I have been through the ringer the last decade and then some, through medical issues, surgeries, being on hormonal birth control and learning how that really damaged my hormones. Also just, being pregnant and then breastfeeding, pregnant, breastfeeding, pregnant, and now breastfeeding, just the last 4 years, and just how that has affected my body as well. And ultimately getting sick with this illness and having it be so debilitating, I just really wanted to go more of a holistic and natural route, because I didn't go that way for like 10 years. And I'm not saying that Western medicine is all bad, because it saved my life. It saved my baby's life, in April. But I am saying that recovery and healing and just finding the root cause instead of band-aids on symptoms is possible. And I really wanted to learn, what that was. I had been to a holistic doctor. I found that I did get a lot of benefits from it. However, I think with me, I want to get the information myself. I want to learn it. I want to take it in. I want to see the credibility of it. I want to put it into action. So that is exactly what we're going to do. I am going to be patient zero. I am going to use all of my knowledge from school that I'm getting right now, and I am going to make myself my first patient. By doing that, I am going to take you guys along with me, and I think this is going to be something that I'm gonna have to constantly be updating and learning and sharing with you guys. But I really, 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 truly am passionate about holistic health and just seeing so far in this program how much your body tells you without you realizing it, and how you can nourish it with, healing ingredients, how you could really just go back to traditional eating and just making things from scratch, and really focusing on those traditional foods and those, foods that our ancestors are eating, and really just using those 6 foundations that our school really, really focuses on. I would love to just walk through that whole process, and I'm going to walk through that whole process as a patient, so I know that when I become a practitioner, that if anyone wants help from me and comes to me, I can be confident in what I am saying and doing and giving to my clients. So as you can see, I'm really passionate about it. And the other big thing with the nutritional therapy practitioner program is that they really believe in bio-individuality. If you don't know what that means, essentially every body is different. So what works for me isn't necessarily going to work for you. And I just love that so much, because I know, people in my life that thrive on, more of an animal-based diet, or, some people that don't respond really well to like gluten or dairy, people that really thrive on different, approaches to nutrition, but just overall lifestyle and environment as well are just huge factors that I didn't really think were a big deal until they were brought to my attention in this course. So yeah, I just love that approach that, it's not like, here's a diet, one size fits all. No, that's not the case at all. I just love how in-depth this class is, that they really show you how to get to the root cause of what your concerns are, whatever they may be. And yeah, I'm already just, I'm about halfway through the course as of filming, and the amount of information and knowledge that I have gotten is just beautiful and amazing, and I've just seen so much growth in my knowledge, but also in how I'm feeling. So I just want to share that. I really, really just want to get that information out there, even if it just helps like one person. In the next video, I'm going to break down exactly what those 6 nutritional foundations are and how I'm going to be applying those into my life and what my current symptoms and concerns are, but also just in general, you know, if you're on your healing journey. I feel like I need to have like a tagline of like, you guys are going to be my healing warriors. Healing warriors. Yes, I like that. So we are on a journey to healing our bodies, whether that's hormones, if that's digestion, if that's brain fog, if it's blood sugar handling, if it's just making sure you're getting enough hydration and minerals. I mean, there's just so much stuff that, you know, is inherently healthy for anybody. But then we throw in that bio-individuality depending on what your concerns are. So for me, I don't want to go into too much detail because I already feel like, you know, I will cover that more in the next video. I really just want to focus on postpartum, just healing my body after being pregnant and breastfeeding for, you know, 4 years straight, essentially. I also really just want to focus on healing my nerves and my body as far as the Guillain-Barré goes. And, you know, that's going to be a slower process, but that is something I really want to focus on because being in pain is not fun. So make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on that video where I cover the 6 nutritional foundations. And I also am going to just show you a little glimpse of what I'm going to be doing as far as nutrition goes. I think that's going to be the first thing I'm really going to hone in on as far as healing my body, especially this autoimmune disease that I am still dealing with 10 months later. So if there's any specific videos that you want to see, comment those down below. I would love to know. I would love to just share what you guys are wanting to know. Are we still into the what I eat in a days? I kind of am like 50-50 on it because I like the idea of showing you, you know, what I am doing to just go above and beyond to heal my body through ingredients, through nutrition. So if you are into those kinds of things, comment that down below as well. I am super curious. I know I like what I eat in a days if they're for inspiration, not as like a, hey, you need to follow exactly what I'm doing or you're gonna, you know, not have the results I do, because I don't want that to be the case at all. Like I said, the bio-individuality is such a huge thing that I believe in. So thank you so much for watching, and I'm really looking forward to posting videos every week and just taking you along on this journey and hopefully educating and showing you what I'm learning and how it's benefiting me and how it can benefit you as well. Thanks for watching. Bye.